In this new world video, we're going to take a look at the best legendary drops for a fresh level 60 Bruiser. This is important since fresh level 60 Bruisers probably won't be able to run mutations, so I'm going to show you the best drops for regular dungeons and open world bosses. I'm basically going to put the build together for you so that you just can go farm it and have a good start. So let's first start with the trinkets, then some of the armor, and then the weapons. I'll go over a great sword, a hammer, and of course a great axe. So let's dive into the rings first. The first ring is from Brimstone, Heart of Heka. This one comes with 24 strength, refreshing, slash damage, and leeching. This boss will also drop a pants that drops this ring, so basically you can farm two things, but I'll go over the pants in a little bit. Where does this drop spawn, or the boss spawn? Well, it's in Brimstone. If you go to Brimstone, you can see, if I zoom in, it will spawn close to the settlement. Here's the settlement, but here the boss spawns. At daytime, it will spawn right here, and at nighttime, you will have to move up a little bit more into Brimstone and farm it by an asset pool. But a really good ring to start with if you're going medium dodge. Moving on to the next ring that's really good is Heart of Heka. I really don't know how to say that, but anyway, it's a Egyptian name, I guess. But this one is really good as well, especially for light bruisers or heavy bruisers. It comes with Hearty, Keen Awareness, and slash damage. So really good. Where does this drop? Also Brimstone, of course, because it has that amazing name. But it will drop in a elite area. Just zoom out a little bit for you guys. It will drop in an elite area. Here's the settlement, and if we zoom in, you can see it will drop here in the elite area. Just look out for it. I believe it's a cat that you need to farm over and over again. I already got this one as well. The previous one I got as well. I farmed for the pants and I got it. But here is the other ring. Really worth it to go farm. You might need a group. This area is brutal though. But let's move on to a ring that's a little bit more easy here to farm. So let's take a look at this ring. The next ring is the Smooth Bone ring. This one has been the best ring for a long time. But recently it has been dethroned by Brimstone. But still very good for a really good start. The Smooth Bone ring. It has Keen Awareness, Hearty, and of course leeching. You can farm this one in Lazarus Dungeon. Lazarus Dungeon is in Reekwater, so look out for this dungeon. Run it a couple of times. I've got mine on my first try. You should be able to run it 2 times and have this ring. So definitely go get this. It's the easiest win for yourself. And of course, there's another ring that you can get, which is Heart of Hepu, which comes with Hearty, slash damage, and enfeebling. Another cat that you need to farm, I believe. But let's just take a look. I might be wrong. It might not be a cat. It's in Brimstone as well. At the very top of Brimstone, you can farm this one. But you probably need a group. It's a level 66 enemy. So just make sure you come prepared. Maybe there's people already farming. A lot of the time when I want to farm something, I just run to the boss and you can see people around it. Just ask for a group and you might find one. And of course, for the last ring, Champions ring, I can't leave this one out since it's so good and you just need to do some PvP or capture some forts to get your track up and get it. This one you get from the PvP track. It's really good. It has Hearty, Keen Awareness, and Invigorated Punishment, which is really good. Moving on to amulets. For amulets, there's not really good amulets that you can farm at the start, but I wanted to include something just so that we have something. The best amulet is probably from Depth's mutation, but we can't do that because we're fresh level 60. But here is one, Protector's Fortune Charm. This one will come with Constitution, Refreshing, Divine, and Purify. It will drop from a boss as well. Let's take a look where the boss is located at. It is in Everfall, just to the left of it, and it will drop here. So hopefully you can find that one. A really quick win a quick win for yourself as a bruiser, just get an amulet, since I'm still running around with a purple one, not the legendary one, but go get this one and you should be able to continue. For the next one, we have another amulet that's also really good. I really like this one. It has health, which is called the Scorpion Stone. It has health, flame protection, and empowered. This one will drop from Shattered Mountain. Shattered Mountain is at the very top of the map. You will have to go into an elite area and farm any of the bosses in that zone, and you might be able to get this. I already have this on my legacy character, but for now I haven't found this yet, but definitely worth getting. It has some really good perks. Let's move on to the next amulet. This one is way easier to get. It is the Reinforced Temptagious Amulet of the Soldier. Maybe I said it wrong, but it doesn't matter. This one is really good for a really good start, and it's quite easy to get. It has 25 strength, health, stamina recovery, and fortify. And how do you get this? Well, you basically need to run the Tempest dungeon in Shattered Mountain. You will get it from a box, but be really careful when you get this box. Do not open this box until your 600 gear score in your amulets, since you want it to be 600 for you so that you can upgrade it. So here is the box. You can get it from a side quest. The mission giver is right next to the dungeon, but make sure you pick this amulet up. When you get it, just equip it. It's really good and a really good start, and you probably won't be able or will have to upgrade this for a long time. Let's move on to the next one. Of course, the PvP amulet, Champion's Amulet. This one will come from the PvP track. If you do it enough, then you will eventually get this. Sometimes it takes a week to get, but eventually you'll get this. It has Constitution, Stamina Recovery, and Shirking Empower. The Shirking Empower is PvP only. You basically get a little bit of damage each time you dodge, and it can stack 4 times. You will have to avoid attacks. Now let's move on to earrings. Earrings is the Doomstone's earring. This is probably the one I would recommend and the easiest to get. This has strength, regenerating, refreshing toast, and refreshing, and you can get this from Genesis. So definitely go do some Genesis dungeons. I got mine on the 3rd try, I believe. So just farm it for a little bit and you should be able to have almost a best in slot earring. Let's move on to another one that I would recommend if you do not want to run Genesis, just so that you have it. This one, of course, is from the PvP track as well, just because it is basically the same, but it rolls with Constitution. PvP track does take a bit longer. If you have the patience and you like PvP, maybe queue up for arenas, but this one has refreshing toast, refreshing, and regenerating. Definitely pick this up whenever you get it on the PvP rewards track. Now let's move on to some gear pieces with resilient on them, since I want to make this PvP focused. For PvE gear, you can already just farm it in the open world. There's not a specific location that I'm going to tell you right now. Maybe I'll make that in a next video, but the weapons and the other things will still be relevant for PvE. First one is the Raider's Hat. This will drop from the Tempest Hard Expedition, but let's take a look. What does this come from, or what does this come with? It has resilient, refreshing, and freedom. 3 really good perks for a really good start, and you can find this from the Tempest Hard Expedition in Shattered Mountain. Let's move on to another one, Warden's Guise. This one will come with strength, refreshing, resilient, and luck. The luck is useless for us, but really too good, really good 2-perker. Difficult to talk today. But this has come from Genesis, so definitely go farm Genesis for this one. I am already running this for myself at the moment on the Fresh Start server, so really good. After that, we can go farm some heavy boots, which is the heavy burden, which will come with strength, resilient, refreshing ward, and invigorated. Probably not the best, but at least it has resilient and the gear score is 590, which is really nice since our gear score will be pretty low at the start. Now where can we farm this? Let's take a look. You can probably farm this in Brimstone Sands again, and it is at an asset pool. So let me just zoom out a bit and zoom in again. It is at an asset pool, so probably not the easiest to farm, but maybe you can pull out the mob and farm it on solid ground instead of in the asset. So bring a friend maybe. There's a lot of hit points I see, so be really careful. Just make sure you put the camp down as well. Let's move on to a heavy headpiece, which is king of the jungle. This one will come with strength, resilient, refreshing, and beast ward. Beast ward is pretty useless to us, but the other two perks pretty good. Let's take a look where this drops. This will drop in Brimstone Sand as well, just at the top almost, and you can go farm it right there. Level 63 mob, so be careful, but you can go farm it there. Also there's another one, the heavy gloves, bouldering gloves. This will come with constitution, empowering, breaker, refreshing, and resilience. Really good 2-perker. Apparently this one comes from the stubbles, the Goat King, so probably quite easy to defeat. But let's take a look where this drops. It is in Brimstone again. Looks like Brimstone has a lot of really good pieces. At the very top you can find it right there. Let's move on to probably best in slot pants for anybody that likes a refreshing on their pieces, the regular pants. It's actually not so regular, but it's really good. So it comes with refreshing, shirking fortification, which is best, and then resilient, which is also really good. Of course, it's a must-have. For this one, you need to farm the same boss where we farmed the first ring that I mentioned, is Heka of the Crossroads. It's also in Brimstone Sands. You can farm this with 2 people. I did it the other day, just actually yesterday. That's why I'm a bit tired, but you can see here's the boss. It will at daytime it will spawn right here, and at nighttime it will spawn at the very top. So definitely farm this pants. It's basically a must-have for most bruisers because it's so easy to get, and it's basically probably don't have to replace this pants ever if you don't want to, unless you want freedom instead of refresh. Let's move on to the last helmet, and then I'll go into weapons. The Conqueror's helmet. This will drop from Tempest, and we already can farm a couple of things from Tempest, so you'll do about a double dip or do multiple things at once, I guess, where you can just farm this and some other items. But it will come with resilient, refreshing, and vigor. So it comes from Tempest in Shattered Mountain. So run the Tempest dungeon a couple of times to get this. Really good as well. But it isn't heavy, so just make sure that you can fit this into your build. Now let's move on to the great swords first. I wanted only great swords with strength. Since we are a bruiser, we are going to roll with strength so that we can get that 300 perk, which gives us grit on auto attacks. But this one, Bloodsucker's sword, really good. I'm currently farming this myself, but I haven't been lucky, so it's a bit of a shame. But I probably will be getting this sometime today. Some strength, leeching crosscuts, really good. You heal for about 70% of damage dealt with the last attack. Enchanted, so auto attacks will be a bit more stronger, and then life stealing, you will heal for a bit. Where would I recommend farming it? The Red Claw is the one that I'm farming at the moment, which is a bear in Ebonscale Reach. I just go down from the settlement and then farm it right here. You'll find a lot of people surrounding this bear farming this one at the moment. Let's move on to the next one, Transference. This one has 29 strength, slowing rupture, really good, refreshing ward, and taunting strikes. I mainly chose this one for taunting strikes so that you can do more damage with your grit, with active grit, and you can farm this from multiple bosses. But the Blight Bringer is probably the one that I will recommend since it will be the highest level, so you might be able to get some other stuff as well. You can go to Reekwater, And once you go down from the settlement, you can go right here and go farm this one for yourself. So let's move on to the Warhammers. The Warhammers is quite interesting. I'm not even going to pronounce this, but this one is almost best for Warhammers, but it has really two good perkers, two really good perks for yourself. So it's Daunting Strikes, Sundering Shockwave, and this you will be able to farm in Brimstone, I believe. All the good hammers is in the elite area of Brimstone, unfortunately, so you will have to run with a group. If you see a train getting ready to run with Brimstone, then get on it and just farm it. So here's Brimstone, and you will have to farm this boss on the right side. It's a big boss. You definitely can't solo it, but if you get a couple of friends or a group, just ask in chat and you might get a group that also wants to farm this, since a lot of bruisers run with this Warhammer. I already got this Warhammer on legacy servers. Let's move on to the next one. It's from the same area, but just from the boss on the opposite side. This one comes with Transcend Strikes, Leeching Path of Destiny, and Keenly Fortify. So no Sundering Shockwave here, but if you like healing, then Leeching Path of Destiny is also pretty good. But you can farm this from the same area basically, also from the elite area, but just at the middle of the zone, the elite zone. So you can see here's Brimstone Settlement, and you just need to move left and you can go get the boss. Also, you need a group for this, of course. Now let's take a look at some great axes, which is probably pretty good. So this great axe here, it comes with strength, insatiable gravity well, which is a must on armor usually for bruisers, and then keenly empowered, so a really good 2-perker, immortal lifesteal. So you can farm this from Sunnet. This is from a Yeti in First Light. So here at the bottom of the map there's First Light, and if you move left you can go farm the Yeti right here. You can solo this quite easily, just level 25. I did this morning, where I just farmed this great axe for myself so that I can have a high gear score great axe for now, so that I can eventually get a better one. And then finally, my favorite one probably is the hook from Barnacles and Black Powder. This is an expedition in Cutter's Keys. You can get the hook. This one comes with strength, crippling reap, which we can probably use if you want to, but it comes with keenly empowered and daunting strikes, so a really good 2-perker for you if you want to do it. And as I said, it comes from Barnacles and Black Powder. If you're interested in some Bruiser gear that will drop from a new mutation that New World is releasing soon, then you can go watch this video right here.